Just keep that in there. Welcome to the Upshot, Multi-World Disc Golf's podcast about the latest in the disc golf world. Josh and I are both watching the Masters. It's 9:30 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday, April 10th, and we're interrupting our Masters time in order to bring you this podcast. So
you're welcome.
You're welcome, everybody. Josh Mansfield, Charlie Eisenhood. Off weekend. We do have the Go Throw Big Money Skins. I mean, wait, no. Eagles Crossing event. I'm interested in this. They got $50,000 purse.
I would be interested in it if it wasn't over the Masters.
Yeah, but
I might watch it next week.
Choose to catch up, right? You don't have to watch it live.
Yes, exactly. So I could watch it next week.
So what I'm wondering is, so we got a $50K purse, 2 rounds, which is so crazy.
Weird. So weird.
Is there information about this? Like, do I know who's playing? Like, I found it hard to get information about this tour sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely is the case.
So we have UDisc. What is the name of this? Eagles Crossing.
I don't know. There are multiple names for all these events. You know, it's kind of hard to keep them all straight.
Eagles Crossing, the Masters Invitational. Okay, I don't really know that you get to call something
Shut up. They did not.
They did. They
did not call themselves the Masters Invitational.
The Eagles Crossing, the Masters Invitational 2025.
That is unacceptable. How dare you slander the Masters with a 2-day non-sanctioned event?
Details and tickets. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. They got a little Thursday nonsense going on. They got a little Friday nonsense going on. Some skins. Then they're playing Saturday and Sunday. It says main tournament top 20 MPO players with stroke play. What does that mean, top 20?
I don't know.
There's a bunch of good players going, okay? Ricky, Gannon, Isaac, Ezra, Jesse Niemanen, Una Heinonen, Vaino Makala, Albert Tom, Garrett Gerthy, Calvin Heimberg, AB. Like, this is like a Pro Tour level event. But apparently, I guess it's only MPO. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Go Throw, they're not really trying to make it happen for FPO.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know why. It could be because FPO players aren't interested. Maybe there's not enough money. But they've kind of like promised FPO coverage and then it like hasn't existed, which fair enough. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. It all feels a little slapdash. I'm not sure that surprises me much.
Yeah. Yeah. And it feels really more like a tour, like it's literally like, Hey, some tournaments, host some 2-round events, and we'll throw you together for a tour, right? It's not.
I mean, it's cool for the players. Like, 2-round tournament, unrated,
yeah,
$50K purse.
Go make a lot of money. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Accept.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's spot on. So.
So we'll keep an eye on that. Should be cool. We got a bunch of stuff for you today. We're going to be all over the place. Let's talk about torpedo bats.
There is
not exactly
no shot that's what people were expecting you to say next.
So
for our European listeners,
if you're not up to speed, or even American listeners who are
that's
not,
true.
I mean, this is not something that you would necessarily have heard about. Basically, in baseball, somebody got the idea that players were complaining because they would say, well, I hit the ball here, but this isn't the best place on the bat to hit the ball. I don't get as much power because the sweet spot's actually a little bit further away towards the end of the bat, but that's not really where I'm trying to make contact. Like when I'm swinging,
where the weight of the bat is the sweet spot. Right. But to your point, the further away from your hands, the slower the contact's going to be, right? Like it feels it's not the ideal spot to try and hit it if you're just going for trying to make contact.
Right. So I don't remember who it was, like some PhD designs a bat where they say, well, okay, let's work within the regulatory rules of bat shape and weight, but we're going to move the heavier part of the bat to the spot where you want to hit the ball. Mm-hmm. So it looks a little bit more bulbous, right? Rather than having that nice, sort of growing diameter as you go out to the end of the bat, it gets fatter and then a little bit skinnier on the end. So they're calling these torpedo bats. So the Yankees get these torpedo bats, and they've been hitting the cover off the ball. They had a game a few weeks ago where they hit 9 home runs in the game.
Wasn't that the season opener?
It might have been. It was very early in the season.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it was because game 1 they won 4-2. Game 2 they won 20-9 against the Brewers.
That was the one. So now everybody's talking about torpedo bats. Now, I'm not here to tell you anything more about torpedo bats. My question is, what is the torpedo bat equivalent in disc golf? Is there a out of the box idea that could change disc flight in some way to improve results for pro players?
I can't believe you disrespect this company like that, Charlie. I mean, they obviously have already found it. It's MVP moving weight to the rim in their gyro technology that stabilizes the disc. That's why everyone throws it. That's why everyone throws gyro, Charlie. It just sounds funny to me because like the idea of shifting weight to a sweet spot is like the description of gyro technology, which is funny to me. But obviously, like MVP discs are not like. The torpedo bats are so crazy that every team will have torpedo bats by the end of the season. Like, do you think that's a fair assumption? I know I think it was the Braves have already picked them up too, and so is another team.
Yeah, it's common to everybody unless they decide to ban it,
which would be so dumb.
I agree. I think they should just let them use a better bat. This just seems like a genuine improvement.
Yes, like I'm sorry, offense brings viewers. And 20-9 is exciting. Like what ideal would be like 20-18. That's exciting, right? That is exciting baseball. Traditional, probably not. But anyway, don't ban it. Okay, so what's the equivalent? What's the equivalent in disc golf? What's the tech that does it?
I think we've basically already experimented plenty with shifting the weight distribution inside of discs, right? If you put more weight on the outside, they tend to be more overstable, I think. Mm-hmm. And that has benefits if you have enough arm speed.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
But like, is there like a magic bullet type of thing? I don't know what it would be.
I don't either. Well, and I mean, welcome to the hard part about innovation, right? Is like, if we did know what it would be, you and I would be making a lot of money right now because we sold our idea to disc manufacturers. Yeah, I don't even know what it would look like. It's got to be something to do with the wing and the nose of the disc, right?
Sure. Like, I mean, there's not so much else that we've got.
Right. There's going to be some sort of a combination.
And you're not allowed to put a hole in the disc.
Yep.
Pretty sure that's like strictly prohibited.
Yeah. And I know like there was a disc a while ago that did like a rounded edge on the wing to try and increase its aerodynamicness. That didn't really take off. So I think, I mean, it's obviously got to be, and maybe that was just like stupid obvious, but it's going to be some combination of a wing and like nose angle and nose and the inside rim and combination to make it fly better. Maybe something that has to do with like torque as players throw further and further. Is there a way that you could get a disc to collapse and then reshape?
Exactly what I was just thinking. Is there some sort of like variable density plastic that could happen? Like in a golf ball, right? They have some kind of technology where like not only is the outside dimpling designed a certain way, but like the interior of the golf ball can move in some way to like create more distance on drives.
Yeah. So could you get the disc to like kind of collapse in the throw more than it does, but have more integrity so there's not as much like kind of weird wobble from the disc reforming?
It seems insane and impossible, but I do think that like plastic types are probably the opportunity to do something more interesting. Or like somehow like getting some kind of plastic, like some kind of process by which you almost like get this perfectly smooth outside of the disc, or like you're playing with how like the micro part of the disc, right? Not just thinking about like, okay, we have a flat top or we have a domey top,
right?
But like we're like literally intentionally either smoothing out the disc or creating a little bit of roughness at a very like small millimeter level to create more lift or more drag or whatever that you're looking for. And I mean, I don't know that would actually do anything, but it seems plausible that a very small change. I mean, remember they on trucks, like on semi trucks, they added those like metal pieces on the back. Which like improves aerodynamics, or like there's like the things off the top of the back of the truck that improves the aerodynamics a ton. And obviously you can't do something like that on a disc, but it's kind of the same principle where it's like, are people actually looking at different discs in a physics lab and looking at the like way that wind is coming across the disc and the, you know, the contours of the air coming off of it, and thinking about like, are there very, very small things we could be doing to improve things? Because like, if you could reduce the drag by 5%, I mean, that is, you know, many feet further in distance.
Yeah.
And I just don't think we're like at that level where people are really trying to do stuff. Like people are more looking at aesthetics and like feel of plastic, which makes sense because I mean, they're still trying to sell this product. But like, if you could genuinely come out and say, we took this really popular distance driver and we made these, you know, proprietary alterations, and now they go 20 feet further. I mean, 20 feet's not massive, but like that's the kind of thing that could actually create change long run.
Right. And to that point as well, like if you could find the ideal flight conditions of the disc, like is it like in terms of like is it how stable, how little wobble, those kind of things, like take that, overlay it with the fastest arm speeds and how the disc changes. What do you need to do to create more integrity? How do you create more pop out of hand? Like things like those, I mean, could be the next torpedo bat. But to your point, I don't think we're looking at that. People aren't looking at that to that extent quite yet. At least doesn't feel that way.
Yeah. No. But I think that there's more to come.
I agree. Discs are not at their end stage.
No. I mean, you think about how much progress we've made even since like 20 years ago. It's like, it's massive.
It's massive.
The College Disc Golf Championships happened over the weekend. Shame on us for not
shame on us
being on top of that right off the top. Josh, let's run down our winners.
All right. We have in is it, I don't think it's MPO. But D1 men's.
Yeah, D1 men's.
D1 men's. Jesse Longnecker from Eastern Mennonite A wins 9 down, beats the next best by 3 strokes. In D2 individual men's, Jake Hensey from Mississippi State B wins with a 5 down. In D3 men's individual again, Alex Ferry from Penn State B. You know, I gotta say, this is cool that we're starting like Penn State, Texas A&M, like big schools, like Arizona, Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona State, BYU, Cincinnati, Clemson. I mean, I remember it was not that long ago that it was like Emporia State,
a bunch of stuff you'd never heard of.
The biggest college that was there.
Yeah.
And we're getting real schools coming to the College Disc Golf Championship.
It's really cool. I was in Charlotte for commentating the Nashville Music City Open, and we got canceled on Thursday, right? We were going to do the match play, but canceled. Yeah. So obviously went out and played Hornet's Nest with Brian Earhart. And
did you beat Brian?
Saw so many. No, I did not. But I honestly, I played pretty good.
Okay, good.
No birdies, but I think I only got a couple bogeys. We played the shorts, so don't think I was out there hanging with the Pro Tour guys. And we saw so many college disc golf teams because they had just been down playing at Winthrop, and they're coming to play all the gotta catch 'em all courses in Charlotte.
Sure.
So saw some A&M guys, saw some Cal Poly guys. It was cool. And like multiple team, right? There were like 3 A&M teams, and they were all like, one hole behind each other on the course. Cool. It was fun.
That's fun.
Atlanta Kruger from Emporia State wins D1 Women. Congratulations to the champs. Over in the team side, D1 Women, Cami Lasso and Grace Wilson win it for Liberty University. In the men's side, it was the A team from the University of Cincinnati. Brad Caldwell, Lucas Vogelsong, Ilkin Groh, a name many may know, and Tanner Young. D2 was Charlotte B, Abel Boyd, Peter Jeniak, Danny Hamilton, and Will Hewitt. And D3 was Milligan C team, James Blocker, Owen Gibson, Mitchell Mole, and Aaron Walker. So congrats to the college teams. I still want to see this get bigger.
I do too. The format is still goofy.
Yeah.
It's a goofy format.
Yeah, I don't know what else you do. Like, how are you going to get multiple people involved?
On teams?
Yeah, on team.
I don't think you do it as like a quote-unquote team. You do it as like, just you do it like a golf team, best scores. Like you just take scores.
Aggregate the scores.
Yes.
You don't play
aggregate
doubles.
the scores. Or you do or you do like matchups, right? So you have you write your roster spot 1, spot 2, spot 3, spot 4, spot 5, spot 6, and you do head to head, and you get a match play essentially, a point for each one in a draw if your matchup ties. But I guess that only works in like head to head, not in a big full team format. But yeah, I think you just do aggregate, or do 2 doubles teams aggregate.
Yeah, I think maybe long run that's where they will end up. I think this cool format allows for more varied skill levels to compete together.
Fair,
right?
Yeah.
And they do some alternating shot doubles, so it's not just purely like the best player carries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congrats to all them. As noted, the Masters has started today. For me, really the one golf tournament I'm absolutely going to watch every year.
Glued to.
I may watch some other golf, but I may not. But I will watch the Masters. Like I'm all in. I got my bets down. I got my TV up. I got the phone up. It's just like the best. So my question, Josh, is like, we've kind of had the conversation before. Which tournament is most like the Masters? And ultimately, the answer is pretty straightforward. I think it's USDGC, right? We don't have any other. Number one, it's in the Southeast.
Yeah.
Number 2, it's invitation only. Number 3, it's at the same course every year. It's high prestige. It's not Worlds in terms of how hype it is for people. Like Masters, I think, is generally considered the most prestigious and most popular major, but maybe there's disagreements there. I don't think in disc golf there really are, although I guess some people do prefer USDGC.
Yeah.
So the question that I would have then, Josh, is not what else could be the Masters, because I don't think we have an answer for that.
Fair.
My question is, how can the USDGC become even more like the Masters? What are your thoughts?
Oh boy. Well, I've got a handful of them. So we can just bounce around some ideas here. I think my first one, USDGC has to stop. No more gimmicks. They cannot be like the artificial trees with the spider webs that one year. Like that is not going to get you to a Masters feel. That it just is not. Mozzarella sticks. Not it. That is not it. I will say, I think they did a really nice job in this past year doing the planter boxes with trees that they intend on planting. Yep. It looked nice. It added difficulty, a huge step forward. That's the kind, they've added the boulders to line the OB, a nice touch. Like those kind of aesthetically pleasing challenges are the way that USDGC needs to be doing. It cannot be gimmicks. It cannot be cheap. It has to look like it is an intentional and like beautification in addition to making it more difficult. And that's going to have to be first and foremost, because right now USDGC is like, it's like a running joke. Like what's USDGC going to pull out of their bag of tricks this year? And if you want to be known as the Masters of disc golf, you got to drop that. You got to drop that reputation.
It's also the case that like, it's a little bit of it's not an ideal course in terms of aesthetics, just generally.
Are you telling me that Winthrop ain't no Augusta?
It's not Augusta. And I understand that, like, we're still many years away probably from having a piece of property that really feels like it has that weight and that beauty and the just impeccable. But I will also say they do a lot with the cameras to make it appear a certain way. Like those beautiful azalea shots, there's like not really that many of those out there. They just happen to get the one that there is and put it on the screen a lot. Right. You know, so I'll get to that because that's another point. I would say you need to they need to really step up their game in the food department. Now the Masters is known for cheap food.
Yeah, cheap.
It's not known for being that good.
Well, people say it's good.
I mean, I'm sure it's okay. But like we're talking like $2 tuna fish sandwich type stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying that they need to do that because I think you can just accept that like maybe that's not the model that's going to work here because you're not charging hundreds of dollars for tickets that are impossible to get. But what you can do is significantly improve the flow of the course for spectators by having food available outside of just Vendor Village. Now, Vendor Village, that's been a massive improvement. They've got the stage. They've got all this stuff there. It's really cool. I love it. But when I'm out at holes 10, 11, 12, I need to get a drink and a snack. Okay. And there's nothing right now. Now, I've always been saying some year, if I'm not commentating, I'm going to rent a house. I'm going to Airbnb on that strip of houses that's right across the street. I'm going to set up a big ass food stand and just sell food and drinks because it's like, you know, right across the street, literally.
Yeah.
But I mean, the tournament could do this, right? They need a daiquiri deck out there, you know?
Yeah.
Like a cool spot to sit and hang out and watch shots and have like drinks and food. There's still not enough happening there. Like it's not enough to just like have water for players. Like make spectators enjoy walking around the property. You can't just focus on the one area for spectators. Like you need to create these little cool opportunities. And they've done some of that, right?
Yes.
The like shaded area on the platform of the bamboo Clown's Mouth hole. Right. Every year I get this wrong. What is that one called? Clown's Mouth is not
Clown's Mouth is 15. Yeah, the Triple Mando is 7.
But that's 7? Also Triple Mando.
No. The one's Clown's Mouth, the one's Triple Mando, Charlie. They're both Triple Mandos.
That's what I'm saying. They're both Triple Mandos.
No, but that's not how we refer to them, Charlie.
Okay, so what's 7 called?
I think 7's just the Triple Mando.
Whatever. It makes no sense. It's completely inconsistent. But fine. You know the hole I'm talking about. They now have that cool spectator area that's like tucked into the tee. Love that, right? We need more stuff like that. We need more stuff like that.
Well, here's the other thing too, Charlie. It's not just the Masters that does like these cult food things. Think about any stadium you've gone to. They all have like a unique
signature
like, signature food item. And here's the thing. They don't have to be like crazy or expensive. Pocatello has a food truck that parks outside of a grocery store now that's like gourmet corn dogs and has a huge variety of corn dogs. They're easy. They're dirt cheap. Like do something like that. Grilled cheese with, a whole bunch of different flavors of grilled cheese. There's ways you could do this easy and cheap and make it something that is affordable and that people get like kind of excited about. Like, oh, are you going to try all 10 grilled cheeses this year? Right. Like that could be fun and would be an easy thing to do. It's, you gotta get the egg sandwich at Winthrop, right?
What else?
All right. USDGC needs to get themselves an iconic award. The green jacket is synonymous with winning the Masters. You just say, oh, you know who's getting their green jacket this year, right? You know exactly what I'm saying when I say that. I think that, they do a ring now, and that's not bad. I think that's a good step, but like every sport does a ring, right? Winning a ring is not like a exclusive to Winthrop kind of thing. I wish they had something that is unique to Winthrop in the same way that the green jacket is unique to the Masters. I don't know what that would be necessarily. I I tried thinking about it before the show, and I really don't have
a green jacket is not it, or really any jacket.
No. You can't do a suit coat. No, you don't do like a suit coat. That's at the blazer. You don't do that. But you need something iconic, right? And that when the winners of USDGC come together, they've, you know, and maybe I don't know. I don't think a ring is it. What about like a watch, a Winthrop watch? And it's like,
if you get a nice enough watch, it'd be cool.
A snazzy, yeah. Like, I mean, what? They just dropped $3,000 for a guitar at Music City. Like, you could do a $5,000 watch for Winthrop that has, you know, a Winthrop W on it, and
you like get a custom watch with like the USDGC logo in it.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty sick.
Who's gonna get their watch this year? That, and then all the winners wear their watches together when they like do a presentation at the beginning. That'd be a pretty sick award.
I like it,
and it's unique to a ring. It's not just getting a ring, but it's jewelry. It can be displayed nicely. Yeah, there it is. My answer is a watch. I want a watch.
I like it. I do. Okay, how about this? To me, this is what makes the Masters stand out. It's the media presentation. They're very demanding about this. Now they used to be annoyingly demanding to the point where like they wouldn't let there be broadcast coverage before like 2 p.m. so you like couldn't watch the morning.
Yeah,
that was annoying. Now it's way better now. You got to get the Masters app, download it now if you don't already have it, and just check it out. Even if you don't care, like
go look at the quality.
There's commentated sub sections of the course, like holes 4, 5, 6, Amen Corner. Then they have feature groups. Then they have sort of the primary broadcast. Now, look, I am very realistic. That's not all coming to disc golf. Okay, I get that. And to be fair, USDGC again has taken some of these steps. They've had certain holes, like 7. And 17 that you can watch a separate broadcast feed of. But I'm kind of talking more about the overall presentation. I want it to feel a little different from my everyday DGN coverage.
Change the color of the graphics.
Fonts and graphics are different.
Yes.
The music is different.
Yep.
The way that you're picking your shots is different. You're intentionally choosing to never have cameras show you the road on hole whatever. 10.
Yeah.
Like, and this stuff would be hard because you'd have to like really think about how you wanted to do it differently. And probably the tournament would need to put some money in to kind of like make this all possible because it's expensive to add all these cameras and do all this extra stuff. But I do think like adding that extra level of prestige and I don't want it to just feel like I'm watching the Music City Open. Right? I want it to have a different vibe, and small changes can make an actually pretty big difference. On-site booth is one thing that helps a lot, and they have that beautiful backdrop that they set up. That's fantastic. Like we need to keep doing that. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure that I have like a comprehensive list of what I would like to see them do different there, but I want the broadcast to have a different gravitas for that tournament. The Masters does an amazing job with this.
Yep. Okay. Hole 17, hole 18. Because, we've talked about the beautification, about this course not being Augusta.
Yep.
There's going to be limitations. Holes 17 and 18. You need to do everything you can to beautify those holes. And they need to be the most pristine looking holes on tour for the finishing stretch. And this is honestly one that you could probably rip straight off the Masters. Instead of hay bales, put some sort of little flower wall, right? Like put flowers all the way around hole 17 green. What?
They're going to get so destroyed.
They probably would get destroyed. But what if maybe you have designated flower spots along the wall. Like there are ways that you could do this that could look phenomenal, right? They could look really, really nice.
You mean fake spiderweb trees is not what you're looking for?
I mean, hay bales aren't what I'm looking for. I'm sorry, but if we want this to be like the most prestigious event in disc golf, I don't want the Winthrop like ag department to come drag hay bales out before the tournament starts. Right? That's that ain't it, Charlie. I'm sorry.
What could they do instead of hay bales?
I don't know. I don't like
because flowers is not going to cut it, Josh.
Flowers wouldn't cut it. So what would it be then? This is another one that I just
you could use large rocks.
Large rocks. Got gaps there though.
That's true. I get your point.
But you get my point.
We'll have to think about it. Someone will email us, upshot@zero.com.
Someone send us an idea.
With the concept.
Also, what about like hole 18? You don't really have people going long too often. So like what if long you just have like a bunch of, I don't know, something. I want it to look better. I want the last 2 holes to look really, really nice. And I don't know what that looks like yet. Whether it's flowers or what else.
There are some really pretty holes in and around the lake.
There are,
but there's more that could be done for sure.
Yeah. So, and especially those last 2, like I think those 2 are arguably the best finishing 2 holes in disc golf.
Right. And
so you need to make it, if you want them to be not arguably, but without a doubt the best, they need to look at 2.
Mm-hmm. I agree. The aesthetics, right?
Yeah. The aesthetics.
Josh, I'll let you read the last one because it was your idea.
Okay. Yep. Here you go. This is it. USDGC needs some sick, limited, desirable merch. I have not once in my life bought a single thing that says USDGC on it. I don't like them. I don't think they look that nice. And I've never wanted it. The closest thing that a company has done to accomplish this, I actually think, is OTB. OTB with MVP always releases really cool stamps, limited discs. They do a big pre-order, and they do combinations of discs and plastics you can't get any other time of year. The Masters has the gnomes that get sold for like thousands of dollars on eBay crazy. Because they sell a limited number, and people line up the second the gates open to try and get like a Masters gnome, and it's 1 per person. USDGC needs some sort of merch like that. That's like sold on site. That's cool. And it shouldn't just be like, I don't know. I mean, it can be discs. Maybe every company at Vendor Village is required to have a limited run disc, that's like 100 discs. And they sell those 100 discs on site each day. And some sort of requirement. I
mean, there is some of that stuff, but it's not like, I don't know, like a limited edition USDGC disc doesn't get me going the same way that like a really sick polo would.
Yeah, sure.
They had those floor like Hawaiian like Innova jerseys that were like pretty cool. I feel like that's like a design direction you could go.
But you want people to like think about the merch. I literally have been seeing posts. People are like, yeah, I got my Masters lottery ticket. My budget for merch is $5,000.
Wow.
And they're going to the Masters with thousands of dollars to go get limited merch they cannot get elsewhere. What can USDGC do? Maybe not to that level, but really get people excited about like having things that say USDGC, because what it does is it makes it a prestigious event to go to. Makes you want to be there because you can get stuff on site that you can't get anywhere else.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I think they need to redesign the logo.
I completely agree. I was thinking about that too.
So they have like the round United States Disc Golf Championship one. We'll throw these up on the YouTube so you can look at them. It's like got the wings, Winthrop with chains, like South Carolina flag. It's like it's busy. And then they have the like Agro Eagle USDGC it's too much.
It's too much.
Like, look at the Masters logo. The Masters logo is a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. It's simple. It's iconic. You could just put that on a hat, and everybody who doesn't want a hat with the Masters logo on it? I really am not trying to wear a USDGC logo right now.
Never.
So I think they need to go back to the drawing board and come up with a whole new look and feel. Like, it doesn't need to have like 90s aggro energy. Like, it needs to be like timeless, classic. I'm not the graphic design guy, but I can tell you that I don't want to wear this logo right now. And if they made a really cool logo that like had more of like the gravitas again that this tournament has, I would buy a hat 100%.
You know what I think? I think they should lean into the W.
Oh, here's
like the Winthrop W.
Here's the.
Oh yeah, look at that. No, I'm sorry. That's not.
It's too much.
That's not it. That's not it. That does not scream like best present, like the most, as you said, like prestigious event in disc golf.
Angry evil.
Lean into a nice Winthrop W.
Let's skip the angry.
Yeah. I love that idea. I kind of thought about that. Redo the logo. It needs to be professional. It needs to be the one that you want to show people.
Yes. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, folks, the transgender debate is back on the table after the Music City Open. We're going to tackle it next. The Upshot is presented by Pound Disc Golf, makers of the best bags in the sport. We've been talking a lot about the brand newly redesigned Octothorpe and Octahall, but I don't want you to forget about the Rufus. It's the bag I carry. It's the smaller version of their backpack style bags. And to me, it's just a perfect lightweight. It's the right size for the amount of discs that I carry. Absolutely the most comfortable bag. And I've been wearing some other bags lately when I've been out traveling around, and I cannot wait to get home to my Rufus. Here's Levi Wisingham, the founder of Pound, talking about some of the features of the Rufus.
The base frame of the Rufus is 2 inches narrower and 2 inches shorter than the Octothorpe. Below the putter pocket, you'll find the main compartment, which holds 14 to 16 discs. We've designed the discs to fit snugly in the main compartment, which in turn provides lumbar support and contributes to the amazing comfort that our bags are known for. By far the most versatile feature of the Rufus is the convertible side pockets. This feature allows you to convert either side into a hall pocket, giving you open access to discs or beverages.
Welcome back to the Upshot. So you may have heard, either through disc golf news outlets or possibly through national or even international news outlets, because this got picked up all over the place, about Abigail Wilson, who was on Natalie Ryan's card during the Music City Open. And on the first round, she stepped to the tee and then looked like she was going to tee off and then decided not to tee off and walked off the course. Let's watch the video of this moment, and then we'll discuss it after that.
Females must be protected in our division. This is unfair. I refuse to play.
Woo! Yeah!
So Abigail Wilson walks off the course, says that we need to, protect the female division. And essentially in protest left the tournament. Some notes on the background here. Abigail talked about this on Instagram as well as in some interviews. She felt like she felt a threat of violence. Now remember, this was the tournament last year, Josh, where somebody did in fact call in a threat, and they halted play. And they had to bring in way more security and police. And it was a scary thing. I remember being on site and being like, whoa, I can't believe this is what this has come to, that we're dealing with people calling in a threat. Now, did it seem particularly credible? No, to be honest. But I can understand
seriously.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And you can understand why players even now would feel a little uncomfortable, because this was Natalie's first event of the season. So Abigail asked the Pro Tour to, be moved off of the tee time with Natalie, and they said that wasn't going to happen. She said that she was threatened with potential sanctions after misgendering Natalie. I will note that the Disc Golf Pro Tour's community guidelines says that individuals may be restricted or removed from social spaces, have their comments deleted, or can otherwise be acted upon if they engage in any of the following behavior, which includes a bunch of things, hateful activities, harassment and bullying, impersonation of other people, explicit content, and specifically targeted attacks based on gender identity, including purposely and maliciously misgendering any person, a player, commentator, or organizer, or suggest that their gender identity is not valid. Calling a trans woman a man or calling a trans man a woman is a violation of the standard. And I think that that ultimately got conflated with the Pro Tour punishing Abigail for walking off the tee and leaving the tournament, which Jeff Spring said in a number of interviews and statements to various news outlets was never the case. There has been no punishment or sanctions, and Abigail said that they, in fact, offered her money back for entering the tournament. So there's kind of a lot to unpack here, but basically Abigail said, I was feeling uncomfortable. I didn't feel safe playing on Natalie's card. The Pro Tour wouldn't move me off the card or move me to MPO when I asked to do that. And then, said what she said and walked off the course. So Josh, what are your initial thoughts here?
It's, I have like, here's the weirdest part to me. So Abigail in her statement on the tee says the women's division needs to be protected and this is unfair. I refuse to play. So walks off. So her statement is about the fairness element, right? That it's not fair, that Natalie should not be allowed to play in FPO. And so she's not going to play in this division. But the problem is that Abigail clearly signed up with the intent to play in this division. She has played with Natalie in the past. And so she says in an interview later that she's upset that like the Pro Tour wasn't taking her concerns of safety seriously. So my question is then like, why is that not the protest, right? Why is the protest like the Pro Tour should be doing more to make us feel safe, to ensure that player concerns are heard and that every measure is taken in order to ensure the security of players here at these events, and then walks off. The problem is that it just doesn't add up to me that the point is fairness when she was fully prepared and has played with in the past. And that's the statement she's making. But all the complaints afterwards are, well, no, it's just that I just didn't feel safe. And I don't want to discredit that she doesn't feel safe, but then I just, the two things aren't lining up to me in my head. It feels like this safety thing is being used as the discussion because, like, I'm never going to blame a player if they are concerned about their safety. And I think it's noteworthy. The way I first heard it, I thought that Abigail was implying she didn't feel safe from Natalie, but it seems more now in the interviews that she didn't feel safe from others who have threatened the Pro Tour in the past. Okay. So, like, yeah, am I ever going to blame Abigail for that case, that she believes that there might be incidents of disruption or violence from other people? No, like, okay, that's fine. But then to use it and instead do the protest on fairness, it just seems very disingenuous to me. One way or the other, whichever you slice it, because the actions aren't matching the explanation.
Why didn't we talk about this on Tuesday? What does this change? I mean, how many times are we going to go around in circles on this topic?
Yeah.
Like, I think if Abigail wants to make a protest, I mean, she accomplished her goal, right? I mean, the whole world is talking about this story because news outlets are looking on both sides of the aisle to find opportunities to talk about this story because it is such a polarizing topic and people click.
Yep.
And I mean, what is this like? Does this change your view? Does this change anyone's view? Nope. I really just don't. I don't think that we're getting anywhere here. And as has been the case in disc golf, there's a lot of people lined up behind Abigail here saying you did the right thing. The PDGA should be ashamed of themselves for not, stopping trans people from playing in the women's division, and on and on. And obviously, this is, I think that the majority of people in disc golf and possibly the majority of the people in the United States would agree with Abigail Wilson. Now, the thing is, the idea that the PDGA needs to step in and do something, well, they already did that, and then they got sued, and they lost a lot of court cases and lost a lot of money, which is exactly what I said was going to happen. And then they had to come to a settlement and probably pay Natalie Ryan money to drop all the lawsuits because they tried to play like they were, way out in front on this, and it was a huge mistake from the jump. And now, at a minimum, Natalie is going to be allowed to play through the end of 2025 as these things work their way through the courts. And obviously, with the new administration in the White House, I think that, there's a lot more openness now from at least the government to standing behind somebody like the PDGA for this. But the judicial system is still slower than, executive orders from the Trump administration. So this is not going to be simply resolved because, you feel a certain way about the topic. I'm sorry. Like, the science is still coming in. The courts are still making their decisions about this. And it is a difficult issue. Like, I don't know. I don't have more to say about it because I'm a broken record on the topic. Do you want to prioritize being inclusive, or do you want to prioritize maximizing fairness? Now, people still seem to be hyperventilating about the Natalie Ryan issue when Natalie Ryan hasn't been competitively relevant at the top of a leaderboard in over a year.
Yeah.
So what are we so worried about? I mean, that's what I say. Like, it's not impacting the week-to-week disc golf right now. So we can dredge it back up to the surface. It could get a lot of people agitated and feeling upset on both sides. And for what? For what?
Yeah, I completely agree. And
it's not that the Pro Tour and the PDGA can't do anything about it right now.
Cannot do a thing.
If you feel like they should step in and make a new rule and say Natalie can't play, they literally tried and they lost horribly.
Yep.
They did not have the millions of dollars it would have taken to fight this to the end. So they settled. That's just reality.
There's nothing that is going to change that the Pro Tour and the PDGA can instigate.
Yeah,
it has to come from somewhere else first.
To me, I'm tired of the topic.
Me too.
I'm frustrated that we have to have this constant din in the background of FPO largely from people who don't care or watch FPO. Why are you here?
Yeah. What have you bought an FPO player's disc?
That's what I'm saying.
Have you gone and when you go spectate?
80% of the agitators don't care.
No, they don't watch FPO. They don't put money.
It's just about being a wedge issue.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I so curious. Does Abigail never play a Pro Tour event again? That Natalie's in?
Abigail said in some statement somewhere that this is going to, maybe on the Instagram post, her Instagram is now locked, so can't look at the post, but this is the end of my professional career. Well, it's like that. To me, that's very hyperbolic and just simply not true.
Right.
Like, if Abigail wants to play competitive disc golf and, she's around 920 rated, she's not winning tournaments anytime soon on the Pro Tour, but the Pro Tour is not going to stop her from playing.
No. But to me, if she shows up next week and plays against Natalie Ryan, what a cheap protest. I did it once, but now I just want to keep playing. So
I think she said she's not going to tour.
She's not touring anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Listen,
again, what's it going to change?
I have no issue with a player stating their mind.
Sure.
If you're going to do it in a respectful way.
Yeah.
And, I think her deciding to walk off the course, it's her prerogative.
It is.
And if the Pro Tour had punished her for deciding to walk off the course and making a statement, I wouldn't agree with that.
I would not either.
So I think that, Abigail's getting her voice heard. You may not agree, or you might agree.
Yeah.
But again, it's it's all for what?
All for what?
Everyone's clear, has their opinion on this.
Yep.
Things are not changing here.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's all I've got.
That's all I've got. That is going to do it for today's show. I would love to. A couple things we got to do.
Okay.
We're going to do a subscriber only bonus, breaking down preparation as a commentator for a Disc Golf Pro Tour event. I'm I'm going to be back on the mic next weekend for the Kansas City Wide Open. So going to take subscribers through, kind of how I prep, what a day is like on the mic. And then we'll be back with you next Tuesday for probably a mailbag show and some Kansas City Wide Open preview.
Yeah, so send in your mail.
Yeah, send your mail in, upshot@ultiworld.com. And we'll look forward to talking to you then. And of course, we'll have our rapid reacts next Sunday following the Kansas City Wide Open. So great time to get yourself a subscription. discgolf.ultiworld.com/subscribe. 5 days until prices go up. So lock in your prices right now. It's been great seeing a bunch of new people join up the last week or two. So we'll look forward to seeing you in the Discord. Josh, have a lovely weekend. Let's rock some Masters, huh?
Enjoy the Masters. It's gonna be a great time.
It's gonna be a great time. All right, for Josh Mansfield, I'm Charlie Eisenhood signing off on this week on the Upshot. We'll see you in the subscriber bonus, everybody.